It can't become normal. Hello, everybody. Tom here. Hope you're all well. I want to talk today about quite a sad subject. It's a sad subject because it seems to be becoming the norm, and it's not something that should be becoming the norm. I want to talk today about, and I've mentioned it a few times on this channel, but it seems to be a recurring theme because of the regular recurrence within my sort of circles or past circles, of connection, shall we say. I'm going to talk about suicide. And very recently, somebody I went to school with, it was in the year below me in school. I wouldn't say we were particularly good friends. I wouldn't say I knew him very well. However, I knew of him. I had some interactions with him. And for the brief interactions I did have with him, I thought very highly of him. I thought he was a very nice kid, very friendly. He was funny, and he was much loved. Had a lot of friends, very popular. He had a older sister, which I used to date back in high school, long time ago. But he wasn't an old guy like myself, similar sort of age to myself, obviously. So I received the devastating news earlier this week that he'd taken his own life, and it just seems that it's becoming too much the norm now. People finding themselves in such a desperate situation and in a mind state where they feel they can't carry on. I am man enough to tell you that I don't mind telling you that I had tears in my eyes when I heard about it. When I hear about a waste of life like that, of somebody who had years ahead of him. He was a brother, a father, an uncle. He was a friend to many. He was married as well, so he was a husband. And he took his life. He took his life. He couldn't handle, couldn't cope with what he was going through. Now I don't know the full ins and outs, but what I do know is he got into some financial difficulty. And I think he was having some issues within his relationship. And there's a big pressure on us men to be providers. I don't know if that was part of it, but obviously with a wife, a house and 2 children and having some financial issues, that must have put a lot of pressure on him. He must have found it very difficult. I'm not sure he had the support network within his family, but again, I'm speculating. I can't speak for that. What I do know, he was a much loved individual. My mutual friend was very, very close with him, and when I contacted him the other day, he was utterly devastated, totally like beside himself. He says, just don't know what to do anymore, And it saddens me to think this seems to be the norm. And the reason I say the norm is, obviously, there's been a history of mental health in my family. My sister, my mother, my aunt, obviously myself, granddad as well on my mother's side at one stage. And you think about it and you just think, it should not be the norm. But it's getting to the stage now where, in some respects, people are not shocked anymore when somebody kills themselves, when somebody commits suicide. And that's the worst, really. It's bad enough that they've done it, and felt that they had to do it. The fact that there's no shock anymore because it's becoming normal, something has to change. Whether it's the campaign against living miserably, whether we look at suicide prevention, on the wider mental health care, whatever it has to be, it can't become the norm. It can't be. It has to be broken down and stopped because this is running like a virus throughout society. Men and women, people, young people with futures get into some difficulty and they find themselves in a situation where they don't think there's any way out, and they do something like that. And I want any of you to know, who are watching, to know this. Absolutely no judgment to anybody who's ever had a relative commit suicide. There's people out there who say that it's selfish, that it's weak. I do not subscribe to that at all. It's not true. It's not weak. It's not selfish. It's not cowardly. To do it would take a lot in the mind, really, and to be quite brave, to be fair, to be able to go through with it. It's certainly not something that we should be frowning upon. If somebody feels that sad in themselves that they want to, they don't want to carry on, we need to be there for that person. We need to rally around them. We need to convince them that's not the way. More needs to be done. I don't want to be hearing other stories about other people that I went to school with. Admittedly, I am getting to the age now whereas a lot of my old school pals or people I knew years ago are going to start to die, sad as it is. And you are going to hear stuff, and you're going to be each time a little bit sad by it. And I was very sad the other day. Sad at the waste of life. So yeah, I just thought I'd put it out there. This can't be normal. We must do more. Whatever that is, I don't know how we tackle it, but there has to be a solution in place. We need to get to a stage where we can see a reversal in suicide rates, because it's like a virus, as I said. Guys, first of 3 videos this week. I must say thank you all ever so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and energy spent on my channel. Thank you kindly. Put down in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this? It is becoming more and more common, and there doesn't seem to be as much shock anymore. I remember a time when, perhaps growing up, perhaps we lived in happier times, where somebody killing themselves was unheard of. But as things have progressed with the anxiety and chaos of the modern age, the pressure that some people are under now, I do feel that it has become more of a not accepted, but it's just there a lot more, and that ain't good. We need to stop this some way. Please, if you would, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Please consider giving me a thumbs up and a like, that'd be really great. And let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know my next content's out. Back in a couple of days with another video, but until then, please, all of you, take care, and bye for now.